Welcome to Relativity Fest 2020. Today, we're talking about Innovation Awards. And who is better to help me to talk about Innovation Awards than Mike from Relativity? Mike, welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Hey, Nick. Thanks. Always great to have you showcasing the Fest content. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So today, I think we want to talk about two things. One, we want to let the viewers know about what are Innovation Awards, and then maybe we can pick a few entries in Innovation Awards and talk about our personal take on them, what we think about them, what jumps out at us. So let's start with item number one, Mike. What is Innovation Awards and why should people care?
Absolutely. Great question. So Innovation Awards happen every year at Fest. They're a way that we showcase the amazing innovations and applications that the Relativity community is building on top of the platform. Really, it's a way for the community to come together, see these amazing applications, hear some of the background, and hopefully land some good jokes around the way. But Nick, you'll have to let me know if that makes it or not.
Yep. All right. And yeah, I always look at Innovation Awards. I see what has been submitted, what kind of other ideas people came up with. And a lot of times I look at it and I go, that's smart. How come I didn't think of that? Right now, I want to talk about a few entries that sort of jumped out at us. I picked 3 entries. Mike, I believe you found also 3 entries that you liked.
Yep.
The way we pick them to talk about is not necessarily they're the best or most innovative or we think they're going to win. It's just that something that jumped out at us from looking at the screenshot, reading the description, maybe something just told us like, huh, this is interesting. This is different. So why don't you start with your item number 1?
Sure. My first one that I wanted to talk about here, this one for me personally pulled at the heartstrings a little bit. As a longtime Relativity user myself, this is a problem that I came across often. And Nick, I would love to hear your take on this one, but it's actually accurate order by accuracy. So this application tackles the dreaded -1 million sort order on your layouts, tabs, etc.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes, yes.
So oftentimes, for those that are maybe not as familiar, let's just take an example of a layout. When you're building a layout, you can set an order, right? This is going to determine the order that your layouts appear when you're reviewing a document. Well, best practices are put a sort order incremented by 10. For whatever reason, if that's not followed or you have a bunch of layouts in there, it can be hard to actually sort those layouts properly. And the -1 million joke I made earlier was a lot of times, and I've done this in the past, you go into your layout and you say, you know what, I want this at the top, forget the other orders, -100, make it go to the top. So been there a lot of times. What this application does is removes all of that, thankfully. It's a custom page where you can drag and drop tabs, layouts, other objects into an order that you want them sorted in automatically. So no need to click edit, figure out what the order is, simple drag and drop process here.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. I don't have too many problems with sorting. I usually go through the pain of sorting in a template, and usually it sort of carries over. But I'm glad somebody took their time and actually create this functionality. And it looks really slick how you can just move it around. So I think
really
that's
cool.
great. All right. Now, as far as what impressed me this year, so I'll tell you one thing that did not. And I feel like we've been a little bit overusing different graphs and charts. Everyone wants to put a graph and chart on their thumbnail. So I'm going to pick something without cool graph and chart. And I'm going to go with Entity for Trial by Annexus. And this one speaks to a pain point that I had. So we always look at EDRM diagram and we kind of go through the steps: review, production, and presentation. But presentation we sort of ignore. It's like, yeah, someone's going to, show it to somebody, maybe print it up on a big board or something. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times I had to deal with this presentation aspect. And what I had to do is assemble PDFs of multiple produced documents in a very specific order. Sometimes it would be, document 1, 3, 8. It could be a document with attachment, without attachment, attachment only. And they had to be put together in a very, very special way put into PDF, that made the PDF searchable, and then give it to the client for them to use. And of course, it wouldn't be one PDF, it would be 100 or 200, and then they would come back with revisions and so on. And this is why this jumped out at me so much, is someone actually tried to tackle this problem that's where the solution to this is usually missing from most of the litigation support software.
Yeah, this is a big application. It really streamlines a process that's not easily handled today. Kind of like you outlined, you have to do this work. You have to do it kind of outside of Relativity, have some type of workflow put together, and it's not going to be one, right? It's always hundreds or more even. So yeah, this was a great application and great use of the platform by Annexus. Again, building a custom page where you can drag and drop your PDFs or your documents that you want to bundle together, automated bundling, some cool stuff you could do with comments and annotations and highlights. So yeah, really solves a problem that users are facing.
Yep, awesome. Do you have another one for me?
I do. So this one is coming from a perennial finalist, but I had to mention it. I really love the work that this group does year over year, and it's from Kilpatrick. This year, they are submitting an application called Lit Smart Auto Reporter. So, little background on this application. Their client was sending over requests, a couple of clients where they would have to run multiple searches daily and report on totals. So they would run these searches manually. They would export the results, track them in Excel, and it's a lot of manual work, right? Even if you're just running the searches. Let's say it takes a minute to run the search, export. You're doing that for multiple searches a day.
And you could forget one, right?
You could forget one very easily, right? We're all human. We all make mistakes time to time. At least I do. You're then emailing that stuff out. It's very time consuming and error prone. So what they've done within Relativity, you can create custom profiles where you can say, okay, I want to export these 10 searches, these 10 QC searches daily at this time, export those out and automatically send those results over to X recipients. Not only is that, but in this automated email you get a chart that shows you the document breakdown for each search that's included, and you also get that Excel export with each search appearing as a tab within your Excel report with the document breakdowns and links back to the searches in Relativity. So, again, more time savings, streamlining the process. Let's take this very manual process right now of exporting these searches, maybe doing something like export to file, something like that, and automating the entire process. So I really love this one.
Yeah, and I like that they take a human error out of it. Luckily for me, I don't have to deal with searches too much, but for those who do, I could see this be a huge, huge time saver and a quality control improvement.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go with my next one. And again, I'm going to pick the one that doesn't have a graph on it. I'm going to say the next one's going to be Export QC Wizard by Aon. So this one, again, strikes pain point that I used to have. Not too much now, but it is quality control of production exports. So whenever you export the production, usually it's going to be fine, right? You set it up in Relativity, you do your preliminary checks, you run it, you export. It most likely is going to be fine. The problem you're going to have is when the client calls you up and say, hey, we found this one document, we need to make a change to something. And you go, all right, let's rerun the production. They go, whoa, no, we can't rerun the production. This needs to be done now. I just need you to change the DAT file or the OPT and send me the file like in 20 minutes. And you're like, whoa, okay. So someone goes into the DAT file and OPT and starts tinkering with it. And that's when things break, right? Somebody makes their own search and replace, somebody puts extra characters somewhere. And this is where a tool like that is going to shine, where it's going to identify if there are gaps in Bates ranges, missing images, if somebody forgets to delete maybe the images, but they're still in the load file or the other way around. Hopefully that tool like this will pick it up and will catch it before it gets to a client. So this is why a tool like this really speaks to me.
Yeah, productions are something you can't get wrong, right?
Yeah.
We all have templates, we all have QC measures put in place to work against that. But I thought the thing I loved about Export QC Wizard was that it kind of gives you that next step, right? Lets you templatize, it lets you automate that stuff. But as you outlined, when those things do pop up, you have the flexibility to go in there and really see exactly what you need to change and easily make those changes. So yeah, let's have our QC measures in place, but I thought this tool really took it to the next level.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. So let's do one more.
Sure. I'm going to
All
cheat
right.
here.
Cheat. Go ahead.
I'm going to combine two because they really hit on a similar topic.
Well,
So
fun.
this was Sky Photo Search by
Mm-hmm.
Sky Discovery, and it was Thea by Special Counsel. So these both tackled image identification. So the premise here is by using cognitive services and building that into the Relativity platform, they're able to identify the content of photographs. So a great example here that was actually used was identifying a large number of photos and seeing, you know, hey, I have a lot of pictures of dams. I need to find cracks in dams and using these services to identify those cracks, right? So this was really powerful because, you know, when you're reviewing images, right, there's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot of metadata there. You know, it's a real manual process, but by using these services and building on top of the platform, it really adds that extra layer of, okay, now I have this extra metadata in, I have these tags that are identified, let's start building some pivots, let's start building some widgets on this stuff, and really dive into the important aspects of these photos that are not easily identified otherwise.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. And where I think it would be very useful is in a text message review. In text messages, we have much more pictures in addition to text, right? With the emails, we get most of the information from the body of an email or extracted text. But when you have text messages, pictures become very important. And if you can categorize those and figure out what they're picture of, that could be a great addition to your metadata fields. So you could kind of, you know, make more sense of your data, basically.
Yeah, that's a great comment. You know, especially with this short message type data becoming more and more important in the real world. That's a great comment, being able to analyze those photos better.
Yeah. All right, let me do one more.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So you know how I said I'm not impressed with all the visualization? Well, I'm going to pick one with visualization, but this one, all right, but this one's totally different. This is One Search by J&D, and it has a totally different way of visualizing your search results. As you search for something and you narrow down your search results, it has a completely different way of showing you how those results get smaller and smaller. It is a really cool way. First time I've seen graph like that is when I was looking at how world generates electricity and how it gets wasted and used and how it gets narrowed down and how different industries use electricity. And I thought it was fascinating to look, and I was just had like this big page and I was just staring at it for longer than I probably should have. And so J&D did the same thing here. They used the same type of visualization. There's probably a name for it. To show you how your search results just get smaller and smaller, and what the actual like fuzzy search, stemming, concept search, what actually hits and gets you your target documents. So I'm going to give it to them. I think this is a really cool way of visualizing. So yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about some visual goodness using the new Arrow UI. This was incredible to see. When I first saw the screenshot, I was taken aback a little bit, just seeing how you can visualize all the different search components that they're using, right? When you're talking DT, keyword, exact phrasing, thesaurus searching, all built into one graph where you can easily see, okay, where are my points that most overlap? Where are the documents that are most important to me so I can get there quicker? It was really powerful to see. Again, a great example of the work that Ben and team do over at J&D of really utilizing the platform and taking it, you know, a step beyond just your normal searching methods.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see this in action and actually click on things and see things update. This looks like it would be total blast to actually modify criteria and just see everything just kind of change. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us when should we tune in for Innovation Awards?
Absolutely. Make sure I'm telling you the right date. Innovation
Please.
Awards are happening on September 23rd at 9 a.m. Central Time. So be sure to log in, check out who the finalists are, see who the winners will be, see some other applications along the way, and hopefully have some fun and laughs.
Yeah, and if you're a developer, perhaps this will inspire you to build something that utilizes some of these technologies. New Relativity API is awesome. I've been using Object Manager. I love it so far. It's really fast. And again, if you're a developer, this is a great inspiration for you to develop your own apps.
Great point. Actually, we had a couple submit for Innovation Awards this year that used this time during COVID to sharpen their coding skills, and even a Relativity Master who wanted to take learning to the next level and went into development. So anyone can do it. Anyone can get in there and make a submission. So check out Innovation Awards this year for more inspiring stories.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you guys for watching. Questions, comments, leave them below. And hopefully I'll see you at Relativity Fest at one of the social events.
Yep. Thanks, Nick.
Bye.